Hi everyone, this is an introduction on how to go about making the next task. Some of you have already made a wooden die like this by drilling holes and putting a dowel into the various holes and sanding that. So that was a good process using good woodworking skills. The next task is to do a die, not with the dowel, but by using a laser cut solution. So the benefit of this is that you'll be able to produce this dice that has laser cut holes all the way through. You'll be able to produce that. You can have your print a name on there, a logo. You can have it's pretty much your design, and it will be sent to you using it'll come like a flat pack, like a bit of a jigsaw, and you will simply pop out these pieces and you'll be able to assemble that into that. So this is a tutorial on how to do that. Supporting this tutorial is the task sheet, which has got a lot of detail in here, step by step, exactly what you need to do. So if you follow these steps, look at this video, you can rewind and play it as often as you need to make sure that you get the steps. The first thing you need to do is make sure you've got Adobe Illustrator installed. If you haven't already got that, you need to make sure that you do that. The Adobe Illustrator with Creative Cloud, you need to log in with your school username and password. So make sure you've got that set up. The application we're going to use is Adobe Illustrator. Now, Adobe Illustrator starts up pretty weird. It's not like Word, where it comes up and it has a page that you can start typing on, because Illustrator doesn't know what you want to do. So depending on what you want, it will depend on the size of the canvas that you get. Now, we've created a canvas already, which is the size of our laser cutter. And that canvas is being provided to you in Sector. And when you open Adobe Illustrator, you go to File, New from Template. Choose your template location, and I've already got mine here. So yours will be in a different location. You would have downloaded this from Sector. So wherever you've saved it after you downloaded it, open that template and it will open a new canvas in Adobe Illustrator. So this is the canvas that we have. This is the size of our laser cutter. It's about 810 millimeters wide by 500 millimeters high. So we know that anything we put on this canvas will fit into our laser cutter. We won't be using that whole space, we'll just use a small part of it. To make this easier, we'll also be using an application called MakerCase. So you simply log into the internet and go to your URL and type in makercase.com. When you do that, you'll get this page appear. And you simply choose a range of different options that are pre-set up for you. We're going to use the basic box, but there's in your own time, investigate these other ones as well. You could create a polygon box, one with different sides, and you can also create a curved box. And it's curved with a K, it's called curving, and it enables wood to bend around corners. So have a play with that as well. We might use that a bit later. But we're going to use the basic box as a way of getting the dice the way we want before we import it into Illustrator. So go to makercase.com, click on basic box, and you can see here I can just click on here and spin that around and see I've got a basic box that has 6 sides, and if I created this as it is on the laser cutter, I'd have to glue these together. There's nothing joining these together, so we want to have a design that's actually got little cutouts, a bit like a jigsaw, so that we can make sure that this aligns and assembles correctly. So there's a few things we want to change in this. The first one is change to millimeters. Second one is to change our size to the same size as the wooden die that you may have made earlier, which is 75 millimeters by 75 by 75. So we have the outside dimensions 75 millimeters all the way around. The thickness is 3 millimeters, but you can see we can use different ones, but that's critical to be set to 3 because we're using 3 millimeter plywood. We want the box to be closed. If we made it open, you can see it has we've now got a box with no lid. We want all 6 sides, so we want that to be closed. And for finger joints, that's where we get to specify what the way the box is jointed on the sides. We don't want too many. We want to have just 3 fingers on each side. And once you've got those settings, simply go to download box plans. And this is what it's created automatically for you. These red lines are the cut lines for the timber. And we have labels. We're going to turn the labels off because we don't want them. And then download the SVG file. So that's downloaded my SVG file. Now I've got that, I'm going to import that into my Illustrator. So I've got my Adobe Illustrator where I have used the template by going File, New from Template. So I've already done that, and this is the size of my laser cutter bed. I'm going to now place that drawing that I've done from MakerCase into here. Now Illustrator and Photoshop don't have an option that you are used to seeing in Word for things like inserting an image. So there is no insert image or insert picture in this application. The equivalent is to place. So you go File, Place, instead of Insert Picture. So we choose where we downloaded the document, and here's my file that I downloaded. It's called Box, in my case, Box 5, but probably just Box for you. I've done this a few times. And then Place. Make sure that you do not have link turned on. So all of those should be off, and then Place. That will, it's the same as a insert picture in Word, and it's going to place that. You can see it's attached to my cursor, just up in the top left hand corner. Click, and there is my drawing that I did in MakerCase, and now it's in Adobe Illustrator. If I hold my Alt key down and scroll the wheel mouse, I can scroll in and out of here very easily. So I'm just going to zoom in and magnify that. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is work out how I'm going to do my numbers, because I want to have numbers on the die so that I know what side I've selected. So on the left hand side here, choose the text tab, and click, and as soon as you click, it comes up with this lorem ipsum. That's just the standard text, so that you know what where the text field is. You overtype that. I'm going to overtype it with a 1, and I'm going to make the size of the font. I want to be stencil, because I know stencil is a good font for doing this. Otherwise, some of the numbers parts will fall out when they're cut. So you want stencil, and I'm going to make the size 72 point. I can now place this so that it's in the center. And I'm going to now copy and paste that 6 times. So Control C, Control V does a paste, Control V. You'll see the purple line tells me that it's aligned with the number next to it. Control V. Now I've got 2 purple lines to line up. Control V. So there's my numbers. Now if I simply double click on one of these, I can change the number. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now this order is important because remember, with the die, the opposite sides have to equal 7. So if you don't have it in this order, the opposite sides won't equal 7. So here's my one here, number 5 on that side, on the back number 2, number 4 on that side, and 3, and number 6, and on the other side, number 1. And on number 1, I've also got my text. So now I have my my outline and my numbers. Now, if I printed this to the laser cutter like it is, what it will do is cut out the red lines, but then it will etch the black. So that won't be cut out, it will just be etched in so that it has a it'll look a bit like this one. This one's got, I've just etched the holes so they don't go all the way through, they are just etched. But we want to, in this case, actually have the holes going all the way through, so they are create that gap. All right. So the way we do that, we need to turn these numbers into an outline. So we highlight the whole thing, and on the right hand side, we go to Fill, click on that little question mark, and choose the red line with the arrow that goes through it. That means there is no fill. And then we go to Stroke, and we need to choose red because the laser cutter knows that red means to cut. And the other really important thing is to change the size of the cut to 0.001 millimeters. So the laser is accurate to 0.001 of a millimeter. That's 1,000th of a millimeter. You'll see that makes the lines go very faint because they're very fine. So now we have a file. When we print this, it's going to cut all these edges out and cut the numbers out. You can see why it's important to do a font that, like with the 6, that's a stencil, because if we had a normal looking 6, this hole would just disappear. So we'd have a big gap there and there'd be nothing in the middle. It's a bit hard to imagine, but use the stencil font because we know that that font works well. The next thing we want to do is put a name on here. So on the first one, again, we choose the text tool, and you can write your name. So I'm going to write my name. Oops, spell it right. And I'm going to change the font to Arial. And change the size to 18. So now I've got my name in here. I could put an image in here as well, or you could put some other text on here. You can put your name on each one if you wanted to. You could even write the number on here. So for example, if I just copy that text, put it here, and change this text to 2. So I could do that as well, but I'm just going to leave it with my name and the box outline. So once you've done that, you simply save this file. So File, Save. Make sure you save it somewhere where you know where it is. And I'm going to save mine to where I keep my schoolwork, but yours will be somewhere on your file that you that you know. Oops, I want those. So this is just in your location, and call it a name with your name in it. Otherwise, when we get the files at school to print, we won't know who belongs to what. So I'm going to call this Mr. Coat. You might change this to your name. Oops. And I can't type. So Amanda Jones, for example. So I'm going to make this one, well, I'll leave it as Amanda Jones. So I'm going to save that file, and once that's saved, you need to upload that file to Sector, to the task, and once that work is uploaded to the task, Mr. Siegfried or I will print this for you, like this jigsaw. It'll have your name on it so that we know who it belongs to, and that'll be sent to you in the post. Once you get that, you need to assemble it. And you can use this normal glue, like the glue stick. So just a small amount of that on the edges, and that will glue very well. Wipe it over with a tissue afterwards to get the extra off. And then we want you to evaluate it. Did you assemble it correctly? Was there anything that you would change? And then if you'd like to make some changes, you'll have one more opportunity to do it again, make those changes, and send it in for us to print for you again. So whilst you guys are at home, we'll be sending this into you. If you're at school at some stage, then we'll be able to print it in the classroom. So enjoy making your new die. Follow the instructions. All of those steps that I went through are included in this task sheet step by step. All right, so you can follow the task sheet, follow this video, and between the two of those, you'll be able to work out exactly how to complete this successfully.